I was laying there, and as I was laying, I was just coughing my lungs out, and I was laying on my stomach, and I glanced over to the left, and I saw a huge muscular demon, just a vulgar-looking man, just ugly. I don't remember horns out of his head, nothing like that, just an ugly individual. I mean, just very muscular, very just grotesque looking, though. And he said, I can make all that go away if you just ask me to. I looked at him, and I used every profanity that I knew and told him to get away. At that time, I immediately found myself at the end of the hospital bed. And not physically, but in this vision, in this dream, I was at the end of the hospital bed, and he was next to me. But a white shadow came from my left side and immediately came behind me to my right side, and that demonic figure, that grotesque figure, fled, just disappeared. He did not want to be around this white figure. I immediately knew that this figure was probably my guardian angel. It brought immediate peace. But I was at the end of the hospital bed, but at the end of the hospital, at the end of the hospital bed, became like a cliff. And looking over this cliff, it was just dark, just pitch dark, but I could see the vague movement of shadows in front of me. And I could smell sulfur. I did not see flames. I did not feel heat coming out or anything like that. But I could see these dark shadows, and I could hear moaning, just the deepest moans from like the deep part of your belly, just awful. And you knew the people were in tremendous pain and despair. And I saw in the middle of this, the only person I could see that I could distinguish was a person. The other, I did not see any bodies, just shadows, was a lady dressed in business attire. Could not see her face, but I could see the back of her. And I could describe her to a T. She had short black hair, wearing like a women's business pantsuit with a skirt, black, and with a white shirt. And I could see the collars. It's like I could see her from the side angle. And I could see the collars, and I could see the side of her face. Couldn't distinguish the front of the face, but could see the side. And she was looking very confused, like you could tell she didn't know where she was, almost to the point where you said, you want to ask, ma'am, can I help you? The angel immediately looked at me, and he said, she doesn't know where she's at. She's in hell, and she has no clue she is here yet. And what I took this was the entranceway to hell. I didn't see the deep bowels of hell and the fiery furnaces. I was at the entranceway. Again, I was at the top of like a cliff looking down in. And he looked at me and he said, here, there's no more hope. Once you're here, it's over. And what I could feel was inside of me was that despair. The thirst for Christ at that point meant nothing. You could thirst for Christ. You could want him, no matter what it was, but it was over with. No matter how much you pleaded that now you believe, it was over. You had no more chance. You had no more hope. And it was a feeling like I had never felt. You could have stuck a knife in me, in my back, right into my heart, and it wouldn't have felt what I felt, this despair, this absence of any hope. And that's what it was. There was no hope. If you think about it, the worst problem in your life right now that's confronting you, you at least can hold on to hope that tomorrow the sun is going to come up. You pray. God may not fix that problem exactly like you want it to be fixed, but he's not going to abandon you. There's hope. But in this situation, this is what I saw. It was over. There was no more hope. You had already made your plans. And that was all that was said. And the angel left, and I woke up back in my bed and looking. And I want to preface this by saying no shot was given to me because they didn't know what was wrong with me. They didn't give me any tranquilizers because they didn't know if I had a heart attack or anything. And they had no idea. So no medication was given to me because they didn't quite know. And to this day, I left the hospital. They still didn't know what happened to me during this time and why I was in the hospital. So I was under no medications at this time. And I knew that God was telling me that in my sinful life, in that lustful life, that I was headed to hell. No matter how many years I had been praying and following him and doing everything that I thought I could do to win